All right, we're back at NAB 2014 here at the Yamaha exhibit. We're here with Kevin Kimmel, our console product manager, and you know, at NAB so far, we've had some people asking about gain compensation and kind of just trying to grasp it. Do you want to go over that really quick and just kind of explain what's going on here?
Sure, I'll give you a quick tour. So, with the head amps being in the stage box, if we're going to do a gig and you got front of house and monitors, if I'm on monitors and you're at front of house, who's going to drive? So we got to figure that out. So, well, let's just say it's going to be you. We go in and we have a gain compensation circuit that works automatically in the background right behind the head amp. And so when you engage it, if you turn the head amp up or down, it will do the inverse so that I won't hear a volume change, but because it's at the network level, you won't hear a volume change either. So if we take a look at the console here real quick, if we open up a stage box, here's an RI8, and when here what we see in this view, everything we see here is what's for our settings for the network. Phantom power, head amp, your gain compensation, and high pass filter. So if we make a change here, everything we do here, every Dante device on the network will get this. If I turn phantom on, high pass filter, any of these features is for everyone every Dante device on here. If we go look at a head amp now, here's a little bit of what we saw in the Rio, in the stage box, and here's some local settings, the digital gain. So in our system, we know we can have a lot of the stage boxes on the network. So we can have 4 consoles control the head amp in any one Rio. So the advantages to that are that if instead of having a master-slave situation where only one guy is in control and everybody else is at the mercy of that guy's gain structure, we have the ability for any up to 4 consoles to drive. So, for example, if we have a really large gig and we have a front of house guy, a monitor guy, and let's say a broadcast mixer, we could say, okay, the broadcast guy is going to control the head amps, but right up front, we need to pre-dial this mic pre's real quick. So we could say, okay, the front of house guy, you do the rhythm section, somebody else do the choir, orchestra, and the broadcast guy, you do what's left, pre-dial it, and then once we get it ballparked, we hand it over to him and let him fly. We could administratively lock out the other users or just have a gentleman's agreement or a professional agreement that we're not going to adjust it. So now let's take another look at this and see a little bit how it works. So this is the local stuff. So we go along, and if we look at an 8-channel view, we go along and we set mic pre's, and so we make adjustments, and the guy who's driving, as he goes, he could turn on gain compensation, or he could do it globally at the end. But let's say he's doing it channel by channel. What happens is we see this blue triangle here, which gives us an indication of where the head amp is locked at for the network. Our whole idea is, hey, let's get a good gain structure onto the network. Let's hit that A to D converter, get a nice hot signal going in there, and then maintain a good signal on the network, and everybody can use the digital gain for local adjustments so you can get your fader where you want it. So let's say this is a keyboard, and we ask the guy during sound check real quickly to go ahead and play and give us his loudest patches, step on the pedal and turn the axe up all the way, and we set the level. Then when the artist shows up and they're not jamming, we realize that now the levels are fine, the monitors are dialed in, the broadcast mix is, but he's barely hitting the input. So this would be an example when you'd want to come in and turn this up. The gain compensation circuit works automatically in the background behind the head amp. It's completely independent of this. So if I just turn that up 6 dB or whatever that value was, this is turning it down 6 dB, maintaining the level on the network so that nobody hears a volume change. Not the guys at the other consoles, any Dante device, the computer, anything. But the guy who's making the turn on this also does not hear a change because, remember, this is at the network level, so this is maintaining the level for the network. What's happening is the signal will be getting hotter, so the signal comes up, the noise floor goes down, and we get a better signal-noise ratio. So it's a quality change, not a level change that we hear. So if we want to make local adjustments, again, we each would be going along and making adjustments here so we can get our fader where we want. Now, let's turn this off and watch. It jumps back to the target, so we would not hear that. Let's say this is a kick drum, and we set it with a roadie, and then one of us notices after the drummer sits down that now we're clipping. If we come in and we simply turn this down, the analog side would get a better signal-noise ratio, but what would happen is, remember, we're locked in where that blue triangle is on the digital side, so as we're turning it down on the analog side, it's turning up on the digital side, so the clipping is going to continue and probably get worse. So when you have a clipping situation, you need to turn this off, back it off. Now everybody's going to hear this change, but we want to hear it because we don't want to hear the clipping. re-engage your gain compensation, make sure that you store that value in your scene so you've got that head amp saved. Now, if you want to hear the change, we have added in QL, and will be coming to CL in version 2, this analog gain to digital gain link. What that does is, once gain compensation is engaged, and it is a local feature to each CL and QL, when I turn the head amp up, I will track my digital gain. So now I will hear that volume change. So if you want to turn a head amp and hear the volume change, you can engage analog gain to digital gain link, and that's the purpose of that. So that's how it works, and it works beautifully. I've used it on a lot of festivals, and other engineers never hear the head amp changes. Thanks for listening.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Kevin. Be sure to stay tuned for more videos. Check out yamahaca.com/NAB for all the highlights of NAB 2014. We'll see you later.